All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to find limits using a graph. And we're going to we're going to do one-sided limits. We're also going to find values, and we're going to find some limits at infinity in this example here. So first off, I have in part A, f of -2. So what we're doing is we're looking at the graph at -2, and we can see that the value is undefined at -2 on this part of the graph, but if we look up here, we can see that f of -2 is equal to 3. Okay, part B, we want the limit of f of x as x approaches -2 from the right. So the plus sign means from the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the right side, or values that are greater than -2. We're going to find that piece of the graph, and we're going to follow that back to -2. And we can see that it reaches a limit value of 1. Now the function does not have to be defined at that value. So this is perfectly acceptable, so the answer would be 1. Part C, we want the limit of f of x as x approaches -2, the two-sided limit. All right, so there's no plus or minus sign, so we have to look from both sides. We already know from the right it equals 1, and if we look from the left, it's also approaching 1, so since both the left and right hand limits are the same, this answer would be 1. All right? All right, so let's go to part D. So we want the limit as x approaches -1 from, and we have the plus sign there, from the right. So we grab that piece of the graph, we follow it down, and we can see here that it reaches the x-axis, so that answer would be 0. -1 from the left, same deal. We're going to go to the left of -1, follow it down, and it also reaches 0. Now in this case here, what is the limit as x approaches -1? And since the left hand and right hand limits are the same, we're going to get our answer of 0. Okay. Next problem, G, we want the limit of f of x as x approaches 1 from the right. Okay, so because we have the plus sign here, so we want to go to the right side of the graph. We want to follow this down, and we can see that it approaches +1, stops at +1. So we're looking for y values. So a limit is a y value on the graph. All right, so now we want 1 from the left. So we're going to go to the left of 1, and we're going to follow that piece of the graph, and we can see that it moves up, and its limit value is 2 again. Even though there's a hole there, the limit does not have to be defined at that point. So in this case here, the answer would be 2. Now when we look at the left hand limit and the right hand limit are different, part I here, so we want the limit of f of x as x approaches 1. So this would be does not exist because the left hand limit and right hand limit are not the same. Okay. J, f of 3, we go to 3 on the graph. We can see that the value is not defined, so this does not exist. But can we find the limit? Limit of f of x as x approaches 3 from the right. So we're going to take that piece of the graph, we're going to follow it up, and its limit value would be 5. Limit of f of x as x approaches 3 from the left. Again, we grab the left side here, we follow it up, the graph, and we get 5, which means now that the left-hand limit and right-hand limit are the same, and even though f of 3 does not exist, we still have a limit value of 5. Okay? All right, so limit of -4 from the right of f of x. So we're going to the left-hand side of the graph here. We can see that this is going up without bound here, and when we're doing one-sided limits on AP Calc, we can use positive and negative infinity as our answer. So we can see this is going up to positive infinity. All right, Part O here, we want the limit of f of x as x approaches positive infinity. So now we're going along as x gets bigger. And this would actually be a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. So the answer here would be 0. F of 1, if we look at our graph, and that equals 1. The limit of f of x as x approaches negative 3. So we're looking here, and we can see at negative 3, the left-hand limit and right-hand limit are the same. They meet at the same point. And this is going to equal 1. And then f of negative 4, there's a vertical asymptote at negative 4, so f of negative 4 does not exist. Okay, so that was just some practice with finding limits using a graph. So I hope that was helpful to you. So please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.